Welcome to the Emily the Mystic Show. You're about to walk through a portal that leads to all things mystical, magical, spiritual, and supernatural. I'm your host, Emily. I'm a spiritual mentor, an Akashic Records practitioner and teacher, an intuition development coach, and a galactic channeler. If you're an old soul on a self-discovery and healing journey, you are in the right place. We'll be diving in deep to some of my favorite mystical topics, including manifestation, past lives, the spirit world, energy, and so much more. Get ready to embrace your inner mystic and live your most authentic life possible. The portal is now open. Well, hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of the Emily the Mystic Show podcast. Today is my first solo episode in a couple of months, and today's topic I'm really inspired to talk about with you today and have a fun and interesting conversation about it, because as I'm filming this episode, we are in the days leading up to the Lionsgate portal. Now, by the time you listen to this episode, it will be a few weeks after the Lionsgate portal. But what's still important for you to know is that, and why I want to talk about this topic today, is because this episode is all about manifestation, which is a huge buzzword out there in the spiritual space and something that a lot of people out there are talking about. And also, I'm inspired to talk about it with it being the Lionsgate portal because to me, manifestation really gets sort of this renewed vigor at this time of the year. It is the end of the summer season here in the Northern Hemisphere as we're heading into the fall season. So it's such a good time, in my opinion, to really get re-inspired by your vision and your dream for yourself and your goals. And with that comes manifestation, right? And creating this beautiful vision that you have for yourself in your own life. So I personally, during the month of August, I get really excited about that again. And the Lionsgate portal itself is a beautiful time to reflect on your vision and what you want to manifest. But this topic is still applicable during all times of the year. So whether you're listening to this episode with me as it's released in August, or whether you're finding this months from now, whatever time you're finding this episode is the perfect time for you. And actually, one of the biggest things I want you to leave this episode with is the concept that there is a divine timing aspect to everything that happens in life. You listening to this episode are on your own unique soul's journey, your own unique soul's path, that you are at all times co-creating with the universe, and your higher self is helping you make magic and miracles in your own life all of the time. This process never stops. So there is always a lot of exciting things ahead for you. There's always a lot coming down the pipeline. And also, you have the opportunity with the power of free will to create whatever it is that you want in this lifetime, knowing that there's a divine aspect and quality to everything going on in your life. So I can't wait to take you through my perspective on manifestation today. As you know, and hopefully you know this because maybe you've listened to some episodes of the podcast in the past, but if you're new here, I am an Akashic Records expert, teacher, and practitioner. So I am using the Akashic Records for the foundation of all of the work that I do. And truly, the Akashic Records have taught me a lot about manifestation. And so I really am excited for you to hear and take away a lot of gold nuggets from this episode and my perspective, my thoughts, and my wisdom of what I have been able to see and perceive when it comes to manifestation, things I've manifested in my own life. And really how this topic is something that is kind of ever evolving to me. I'm always learning new things about it, but it's also a topic that is really the foundation in a lot of ways for our life here on Earth. It is that important. So first of all, I think we see, again, manifestation as this buzzword because of books out there like The Law of Attraction, The Secret, which talks about the law of attraction, which have kind of taught us this sort of like pop culture viewpoint on manifestation. And
I read The Secret. I love that book. It was one of my first spiritual books, actually, when it first came out. I think I was like 11 or 12. And my mom bought it for me when I was at Barnes & Noble as a kid. I really enjoyed it at the time. I have since watched the movie and have learned a lot about the law of attraction itself, which basically, if you're not familiar with it, I think most of us out there know, but the law of attraction basically states that like attracts like. What you think becomes your reality. So thoughts become things is really the basis of the law of attraction. And that to me takes on a very simplified approach to this very complex, very layered, very almost supernatural topic that is manifestation. And so I think because it is such a buzzword out there and people have so many points of view, different techniques and tricks and rituals and all sorts of things to try, that it really on some level kind of takes the magic away from something that is happening for all of us all of the time and oversimplifies it a little bit. Manifestation to me is such an integral part of our day-to-day lives. It is such an integral part of being human and our reality all of the time. Because here's the thing. What I know from working with the Akashic Records is that we are divine creator beings. You listening to this, me filming this episode for you, anyone else out there on your path, the people you're in relationship with, we are all divinely creating our reality at all times. We are always manifesting. You came out of the womb manifesting. And I know that can kind of be a radical thing to think about, that you've been manifesting your whole life, but you have. Because you are a vibrational being. You are an energetic vibrational being. Yes, you're a physical being, but you're also an energetic being. And you are an energetic being divinely connected to God, Source, the universe. So as you know, you have God, Source, the universe within you. And with that being said, you are actively creating this experience around you all of the time. And also, there are some higher aspects of your soul that have helped you bring this reality into existence right now that we're going to be talking about today, that may be some new information that you've never heard before. But when I talk about manifestation, I really see it as this process of divine creatorship. We are using our energetic self, our unique soul blueprint, who we are as a soul, with the help of God, Source, in the universe, to co-create the reality that we have around us. And so that really calls into play two things that I'm going to be talking about today that may be new for you. But we're going to be talking about your soul blueprint today, and we're going to be talking about your incarnation plan and how those two concepts come together and co-create your life, your life, who you are here listening to this podcast. And above all else, I really want you to leave this episode with the idea in mind that none of this is by accident. Your life is not a coincidence. It is not a series of random events. Your life is very much beautifully, magically orchestrated by design. And yes, you have the free will to also create whatever you want for yourself. So let this episode inspire you and empower you to take that magic into your own hands, and knowing that you are always divinely guided and supported by this magical, synchronistic, all-knowing, high consciousness universe that we live in to help you create whatever it is that you desire for yourself. Obviously, you can tell that I am obsessed with this topic because it has helped me manifest so many cool things in my life. But also in knowing, seeing what I've created and what I've manifested, I can also see that none of it was by accident. That very much those things that have come into my life, such as this amazing business that I have, the home that I live in now, even my college experience, friends that I've made, my corporate job, all of it was just very much divinely guided in so many different ways. So let this take some of the pressure off from the manifestation process. Because a big piece of this is that you're not doing this alone. You are not operating in a silo. You are co-creating and operating in accordance with the divine intelligence of God's source, the universe. You are not alone in that. And so perhaps this episode is going to be an opportunity for you to lean into that knowingness that you're not on this journey alone, and knowing that there are aspects of this journey that have been designed just for you. Can you enjoy the process a little bit more? Can you lean into it a little bit more? Can you let go a little bit more of the stress, the worrying, the overthinking, the doubt? That is what this is all about. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. And again, some of these topics may be new for you. Maybe you've heard them before. If you've taken my Akashic Records mentorship, my Akashic Records 12-week certification, you will have been taught some of these really powerful concepts. But if you haven't, I'm going to get us started by talking about these two concepts that I introduced you to at the beginning of this episode, the Incarnation Plan and the Soul Blueprint. So your soul blueprint, let's start there. Your soul blueprint is who you are as a soul. It is who you were designed to be in this lifetime. It is your soul's history and wisdom. So yes, that includes all of your past lifetimes up until this point. It includes your unique energetic makeup, your personality, all aspects of self, and all of it, all of this sort of energetic information, how it gets expressed in your physical vessel, in your physical body right here, right now. So a way to think about it that might be really helpful is there are so many tools that we can use to read the soul blueprint. And I'm sure you know many of them. Things like your astrology birth chart, things like your human design chart, your numerology, even your gene keys. All of them are ways to read the soul blueprint. So your soul blueprint, again, is the essence of you. And it is how your unique history as a soul and all of the pieces and parts of yourself, yes, your nature, so who you are individually, and also your nurture. So perhaps the experiences you've had in this lifetime up until this point, good and bad, all of it is how you are expressed in your human vessel. Your soul blueprint is who you came here to be. Because you, your higher self, I should say, divinely orchestrated this lifetime in order to support the evolution of your soul's overall journey. You right now in this body listening to this podcast, you have what's called an oversoul. The oversoul is the umbrella, the overarching version of your soul. Your soul in this body, in this life, is part of, one element of, one puzzle piece of your oversoul. And you worked with your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, many beings of light, the consciousness of God, to design this person that you are in this life. So you are a miracle. You are a gift. Like you are. You are. There's so many incredible things about you. I may not even know you personally, but I can tell you that because the fact that you are here right now is not by accident. It is a miracle that you are here. And guess what? Your life was not created by accident. Your life was co-created with God's source in the universe and with the help of your spirit guide team, your loved ones on the other side, your angels, etc., to create what is called concept 2, your incarnation plan. So you came into this life with an overarching mission and purpose of how you are meant to contribute to planet Earth, how you're going to impact other people, how you're going to be in relationship with others, how others are going to impact you, lessons that you're here to learn, things that you're meant to create or do or produce or unleash that are part of your soul's overall evolutionary journey. And all of these things are part of your life here on this planet. So your blueprint is who you are, and your incarnation plan is what you're here to create, what you're here to do. And both of those things, as I said, they co-create together to create this experience that is the human roller coaster of life. Again, both good and bad. Now, I am not one of those spiritual teachers who believes that you are co-creating everything, including the trauma that you have been through. I am not here to sit in front of you and tell you that you have manifested abuse or any form of trauma that you have been through in this lifetime or your other lifetimes. I do not believe that. But what I do believe is that anything that you've been through from someone who has perpetrated you or hurt you or has done something that has caused some sort of fracture in your soul, some sort of wound that your soul is healing from, that you do have the opportunity to take matters into your own hands to heal from whatever it is that you've been through. And that is part of the manifestation journey, is the healing that you are here to embark on that may have been woven into your soul's incarnation plan, that you are here to heal from things that you have been through in this lifetime and others, and maybe from your ancestral line. So with all of that in mind, and I say this to preface the fact that there are some spiritual teachers out there who will tell you that you are, by your free will, your choice, that everything in your life is within your own hands. I believe that that takes some of the magic out of it, because to me, not only can you create whatever you want, because you absolutely can, but there's also universal divine intelligence that's supporting you on that journey. And a lot of this was co-created, or I should say manifested, even before this moment in time that you're sitting here right now. And the guides are reminding me to tell you, and this concept can be a little hard to sit with. So I'm just going to say what's kind of channeling through right now, and you can take it on as your truth or not. Because energy is multidimensional, and because time is not linear, everything is multidimensionally happening all at once. You are actively in the process of co-creating your incarnation plan right now. You are working with your higher self and your guides, because if we talk about there being some sort of life between life review process that you go through before you incarnate here, let me back up a moment and say that life between life review is when you sit down with your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your loved ones on the other side, any ascended master teachers that you have a divine soul connection with, like Jesus or Mother Mary or any other divine ascended master teacher. You sit down with them and you work on your soul's evolutionary plan and journey for the upcoming life. So if we talk about that happening in terms of linear time before you incarnate, guess what? If time is multidimensional, that process is still happening right now, which means that yes, you are creating whatever you want in this now moment. And also, there are a lot of aspects to your life that are divinely orchestrated. So with that in mind, one thing that I teach my Akashic Records students is, and one thing the Akashic Record keepers have told me, is that our incarnation plan has been beautifully designed with what are called destiny points. Destiny points are fixed moments in time in our life that are designed by us, our higher selves, our soul, to enjoy, do, create, etc. in this life. Destiny points can be anything from meeting a specific person to being on a specific trip, to living in a specific city or place, to having a specific career. Destiny points are things that are divinely orchestrated within our soul blueprint and within our incarnation plan that are meant to be experiences that are part of our soul's evolutionary journey. Now, not everything is fixed and set in stone, and not all of us have the same set destiny points. So, for example, it could be divinely orchestrated in a destiny point for me to be a spiritual business owner, but for someone else out there, it may not be your career or business may not be specifically set in stone, just as an example. So with that in mind, and the reason why I bring this up in this episode is because your destiny points are what I like to see as the divine bumpers on your journey. There are these bumpers that have been set up in place for you to make sure that you are accomplishing what you are meant to accomplish here. And this brings up that beautiful quote that I love, which is, what is for you will not miss you. What is meant for you will not pass you by. Because guess what? Your soul is here to do and accomplish some very specific things. And yes, there is a little bit of a predestined quality to it. Now, that isn't to say that everything is predestined, so therefore we can just go and sit on the couch and not do anything and not go out there and we can just binge watch Netflix and everything that we want is just going to show up at our doorstep. Absolutely not. Because when we're doing that, we are totally out of flow with the universe. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more when I get into my beliefs around manifestation. But you also need to be getting out there, living your life and experiencing life in order to meet these, your so-called destiny points. But you're already doing it. You're already living. If you're listening to this podcast, you're not just sitting at home trapped in a room with no connections or ability to explore anything, because you wouldn't be able to listen to this podcast. So you're already in the process. You're already in the zone. And by the way, destiny points are not things that we can learn about in an Akashic Records reading. Your guides will not tell you what they are. You're not meant to know. But this concept is important because it helps us see and understand and trust more that your life is not failing or is going to go up all in flames, or there's going to be some sort of chaos. And there may be hard times in your life. Absolutely. That's part of the human experience. And also, there are beautiful moments that have been orchestrated just for you. And sometimes destiny points may, in our human perception of things, may not be positive. Sometimes destiny points are life-changing, life-altering experiences that totally set us off on a different trajectory. I'm sure you can think of, if you want to discover what your destiny points have been, I want you to reflect back on your life up to this point and sit with, okay, what moments in time in this lifetime felt like they totally just magically sort of unfolded. Maybe it was meeting a specific person, or maybe it was a job that you got that was through a connection, through someone you knew, and it just sort of kind of came together. And yeah, there was maybe some action steps involved and maybe even some hard work involved, but it just on some level felt natural, like it just sort of happened. That is a destiny point. Maybe it's the specific place that you live in. You had to be there. You had to end up there. Maybe you even went to a college or university in a totally different city than when you were born, but you knew you had to be in that city or town. That is a destiny point. So now that you're aware of this concept, I want us to kind of switch gears here into tuning into manifestation. So when it comes to our life and our incarnation plan, there are some really beautiful things that have been sort of set up for us. And actually, I want to just divert here for a second by saying I'm currently taking a class right now on a specific ancient astrology tool that's called zodiacal releasing. It is so kind of niche and unique. But this tool, what it has taught me so far, and I'm still learning, so by no means am I an expert in this at all. But what it has taught me so far is that it is already, we can see within your astrology information through this software that's a zodiacal releasing software. We can see specific moments in time when things have evolved for us or changed or turning points. For example, the first time I looked at my chart, my zodiacal releasing chart, I was able to see that in September of 2020, there was a big pivotal life shift that happened for me. And guess what? That is the month when I first started offering psychic and mediumship spiritual readings and literally started a spiritual business. It was September of 2020. I incorporated a business in August of 2020, but it was a fitness coaching business. And I didn't start a spiritual business until September of 2020. It is written all over my charts. So I know that it wasn't by accident that I am doing this right now. I know that I didn't just stumble into this or wander here. I know that it's by design. And also, I know that I have had to put in a lot of my own energetic work and effort in order to create this life that I have. So with that being said, I want you to lean into the concept that what is for you will not pass you by. And also, we need to lean on our intuition and our intuitive gifts and on our energy or vibration to work with the universe in order to co-create the life that you want for yourself. So let's get into that concept of manifestation here once and for all. So as I was saying before, manifestation is the process of divine creatorship, where we are actively co-creating the life that we desire for ourselves at all times. Again, some things for us are sort of written in the stars, as you want to say, but the rest is really up to us. And also, I would say sort of the level at which you create is really up to you. So we do this because we are living energetic beings. Remember, I said you've got this soul blueprint. That's who you be, which is your living, breathing energy field. That energy field is made up of some things that we talk about in the spiritual community a lot. Things like your belief systems, your subconscious mind, your perceptions of your reality, everything that you've been through in this lifetime and others. All of that contributes to your energetic vibration. So, what I like to say to my clients is that if you have a vision for yourself, if you've got something that you want in your life, first of all, that is an indicator. By the way, a wanting and a desire for something that you currently do not have is an indicator that you are meant to have that thing. That is the first process, because that process of visualizing, imagining, and coming up with the idea of something that you want is an indication that it's part of your soul path. Let's breathe that in for a moment. If you are wanting and desiring something, it is for you. That's where the process first begins, by that authentic desire. Now, I say authentic desire because in my point of view, because I've been doing this for a while and I've really kind of viewed my life through this lens, authentic desires are things that feel so unique and true to us and who we are as a soul. This is different to me than an ego-based desire. Something that maybe other people have that you see out there that's coming more from an ego-based lens versus something that's so true for you as a soul. And this is an important distinction because when we manifest things that are so authentically true for us, not only is it much easier to create them, but we figure out that we actually want those things. I can't tell you how many times I have been wanting to manifest something, wanting to call something in, and it was from a more ego-based lens because I saw other people out there with it. I, was seeing it on social media. And then I kind of, after working on that manifestation for a while and sitting with it for a while and it wasn't happening, kind of came to the realization that I don't really want this. This isn't actually for me. So when I say that, I want to really preface the fact that yes, whatever you are imagining or whatever you're envisioning or whatever that first thing is that's on your manifestation list that you are probably thinking right now as you're listening to this, if it is really authentic to you and is something that you really desire, it is absolutely possible for you to have. You wouldn't have the desire if it was outside of the realm of possibility. You would forget about it. It would just not even be on your radar. But if it's coming into your awareness, like let's say you want to attract a partner or you want to attract a certain career path or even a business, then absolutely it's authentic for you. Another way to view an authentic desire is something that is so heart-centered for you. It's something that feels so authentically true to you, that it feels so connected to your heart, that you followed because your heart wants it. That to me is an authentic desire. An ego-based desire is likely coming from your head. It's something that is not connected to your heart. It is something, again, that you're seeing other people have, or that is something that you're seeing in your external reality. And truly, when you sort of like look back at your life, especially if it comes to wanting love or wanting the business or wanting kind of a career path, you probably had some sort of inkling of that in your childhood, or at least earlier on in your life. I know for me, I've always wanted a business. And I didn't know what that business was, but I knew that I always, at some point in my life, wanted to have a business. So that in and of itself felt very authentic for me. Now, anyway, I'm sort of digressing here, but what's really important for us to know is that what we desire is possible for us because we want it. So therefore, we can use the magic of manifestation. And manifestation isn't really magic because it's just the reality that we live in. It's part of our everyday lives, whether you want to believe it or not. We can create whatever it is that we want. So we do live in a universe governed by the universal law of free will, which means that we are human beings with free will. We can take action on creating anything. We can take action on anything that we want to take action on. And you may say to yourself, well, Emily, if there are destiny points, does that mean that we have no free will? Here's the thing. Your higher self took it upon itself to create those destiny points. So it is your higher will that is responsible for that. So it is part of your energetic free will per se, your soul's free will, that has taken place. There are parts of you who have truly believed when creating that would be for your highest path. So with that in mind, anything above and beyond your destiny points is absolutely possible for you to manifest. So when it comes to working on manifesting something specific, again, that first step to me, and here's where I'm going to kind of get into sort of the steps to manifestation that I've seen, and I'll give you some personal examples as well so that you can really kind of integrate this and really take this on and even take action on it if it feels aligned. The first step is really to get clear on that vision. What is it that you want? And to me, you don't necessarily need to get super specific. I know that there's a whole theory in human design that some of us are specific versus non-specific manifestors. Now, I am not a human design expert, so that is not a conversation for me to have with you. And from what I have observed through a lot working with hundreds of clients, is that you don't really need to be super specific on what you want, but you need to have the vision. And that vision could be perhaps something as simple as I want freedom for myself. I don't know what that looks like, but I know that I want a life of freedom. Or I know that I want to manifest the house because to me that means safety and security, but I don't know the specifics of what the house is going to look like. Or I know I want a divine life partner, and I know I really want someone who's going to love me and cherish me and who's going to really love my light and let my light shine, but I don't really know the specifics of what they're going to look like or, specific personality traits that they're going to have. So you don't need to get super into the weeds with the details of what you want to manifest, but at least having an idea. And to me, I really love to get that idea on paper. I love to write it out. I love personally to make manifestation lists of things that I want, because that is the first act of really taking something energetic and bringing it into physical form, writing it down on paper. Because again, this is a co-creative process. So when you envision something and when you write it down, when you decide that you are going to have that thing that you want, because by writing it down, you've decided you're going to have it. That to me sends out a signal to all of the divine support around you, your spirit guide team, your higher self, the universe, that I'm going to have this thing that I want. And therefore, send me whatever needs to be divinely orchestrated for this to take place. Send me the right people, the resources, etc., in order for me to be able to have this thing that I want. So I love to write things down. I also love to say things out loud because I like to activate my throat chakra. And by speaking things into existence, I really feel like there's a lot of power in that, in declaring what you want to the universe. And even taking it a step further, talking about it with people in your life that you trust. This doesn't mean that you have to get on your Instagram story and tell the world about what you're manifesting or tell your parents who are going to judge you. No, but this means maybe talking about it with a trusted friend or partner who is going to be a listening ear. And that really, to me, is like, I'm telling this person, so therefore I'm declaring it. I am calling it in. I'm putting my desire, my wish, my need out to the universe. So that's the first step, is the desire and the intention, the writing it down. And again, to me, and this is a specific energy, so this may be even a small shift for you, but deciding that you are going to have it. I know that it's possible for me to have this. Absolutely. And there can be little doubt. That's okay. That's what we're going to get into next. But at least you have fearlessly taken that step to decide, like, yeah, I know that this is for me. Next, the second thing that is sort of the internal work, the internal piece of things that a lot of people in the spiritual space will have a lot of opinions on. The internal work is really important, and I'm here to tell you that. And by the internal work, I mean from an energetic standpoint, because what I said before is that you are a living, breathing, vibrational field. And so in order to have and manifest what you want, when we live in a vibrational reality, and yes, this gets into the law of attraction because like attracts like in a vibrational reality, you need to let go of anything that is getting in the way of you not being in the energy of that manifestation. I know we talk about that a lot in the spiritual space, so I'm going to break it down for you in a moment here. But what really needs to take place for you to become the energy and be the energy of the thing that you want is you need to let go of any parts of yourself that are out of agreement, that are in discordance, that are in resistance to the manifestation. So that can be things like beliefs. Your beliefs to me are huge, the most integral part. Do you believe that you can have your manifestation or not? If the answer to that question is no, then that is the first place that you need to take a look at. Do I believe that I can have this thing? I have been on a journey over the last year of really believing in myself and believing in this business and believing in my success. And that has gotten me so far, milestones far than where I was even a year ago, because I didn't believe in myself and I wasn't confident in my gifts. That belief is massive. So do you believe in the fact that you can have your manifestation? Do you believe you're worthy of it? Do you believe you're deserving of it? Do you believe that God loves you enough? Because God, the universe, is part of this process. Do you believe that you are in a benevolent universe that can allow you to have the thing that you want? Or is there a God that's punishing you or that's making you wrong or that's going to send you to a bad place if you make mistakes? So that belief, am I worthy? Am I deserving? Can I do this? Can I succeed? Or does some part of me believe that I'm a failure, that I'm a disappointment, that I am not good enough? We need to get your beliefs on board. Absolutely integral and absolutely huge. And a big part of that, when I talk about belief, is anything that has led you to believe the opposite of what you would like to believe. So anything in your soul's history that has taught you are not good enough, that you are a bad person, that you are evil, that you're not worthy, that you're not deserving, that you are poor, that you can't have the abundance that you want. Any of that ickiness, that stickiness, that's what we need to take a look at. because it's getting in the way of you fully believing with every cell of your being that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you can have, you can create, you can do the thing. And that's something, that piece that I just shared with you is the very specific thing that I use the Akashic Records for. Because the Akashic Records are so good at zoning in on what is blocking the belief. What is creating the resistance? Where are the nigglies coming from? Are they coming from a past life, or are they coming from this lifetime? Are they coming from childhood, one of your parents? Is it ancestral energy? Is it something that's not even your own? Is it something that's coming from your experience with your mom, your dad, a sibling? Again, maybe it's even coming from a whole other lifetime. But that's creating the resistance to you believing that you are worthy and deserving of having the thing that you want, or that you are the person who can have it, that can do it, that you are loved enough to have the thing that you want. So getting into that is immensely important because it helps us shift the energy and let go. The biggest piece here is letting go of any part of ourselves that believes otherwise. Once we can let go of anything that is in discordance, that is, as we will say, out of alignment, that is not an energetic match, we energetically get to a place where we fully believe with every cell of our being that we can do it. So for me, when I was working on manifesting this business, I was doing internal work to get myself to a place where I could believe that I am a full-time entrepreneur, CEO, and business owner, and that I can and am worthy and deserving of financial freedom and financial abundance through a business that doesn't come from a corporate job. So I had to take a look at my childhood. I had to take a look at the belief systems of my parents. I had to take a look at the past lifetimes that said otherwise, and energetically let that stuff go. Now, there are many ways that you can do that, many processes. There are some people out there that will teach subconscious reprogramming, which is great. Some people will teach somatic tools like breath work, another great tool. These are all great tools. For me, what has really worked for me is using the Akashic Records. Because when we go into the Akashic Records, we can pinpoint so fast and with such great clarity where the resistance is coming from. Is it coming from this lifetime or another lifetime? And if it's from this lifetime, is it coming from a childhood experience? Or is it coming from imprinting from your parents or from your ancestry? Where is the resistance coming from? That's what we need to figure out. That's also what I do in my readings for my clients. So if you do an Akashic Records reading with me, we can pinpoint that and really get clear on where the energetic resistance is coming from. And because we're working in the Akashic Records, we can actually let this stuff go. There's an energy healing that takes place where your soul gets fully on board with knowing that it's not the truth for you anymore. And we fully align you to the authentic truth of who you are, which is that you are a divine being, a loved being connected to God's source in the universe. So once we've done the inner work and we've gotten our belief on board, and by the way, we're sort of kind of moving through this second stage here in accordance with the third stage, which is taking action. So as we're doing the internal work, we're letting go of what's blocking our belief. Then we also need to, at the same time, be taking that intuitive action. And what I've really noticed is when you've declared something to the universe that you want to manifest, you're doing the internal work to let go of what is blocking it. Your intuition is also sending you from your higher self and your guides ideas, downloads, inspiration, and action steps that you need to take in order to create the thing that you want. So for me, when I was working on creating this business, that would be things like you need to work with this specific mentor, or you need to book this reading with this person because you're going to get information that's going to help you. Now, by the way, intuition comes through in such a subtle nudge that I didn't always know why I was doing or taking the action that I was taking. I just knew I needed to do it. I just felt this strong sense, this strong nudge that I needed to be doing this thing. I needed to be in this place at this time, working with this person. And I followed that. So there's a big intuitive sort of action taking process. By the way, this lifestyle that I'm referring to as I'm kind of channeling this podcast episode, it's a lifestyle that if you fully want to be on this path that I'm sharing with you in this episode, all these steps here, they become really second nature and part of your lifestyle. The more that you incorporate them, it becomes easier to follow the intuition. It becomes easier to take that guided action. It becomes easier to do the inner work because you just know that it's an integral part of your process. And by the way, the fourth piece of this is trusting and knowing that divine source, the universe, your guides are co-creating this with you. They're going to send you the right people. They're going to send you the right things. They're going to send you the action steps to take. You are not in a silo. You are not doing this alone. So a big part of this for some people, for some of you, you may have steps 1 through 3 down. Step 1, you've declared your desires to the universe. Step 2, you do the inner work. Step 3, you're taking the action. You're like, where's my manifestation? There may be the fourth piece may be missing for you. And that's why I wanted to film this episode, was to hopefully hit home for some of you who need to hear this, that there may be a trust component that's missing for you. Do you fully trust that the universe has your back? Do you fully trust that God's source is working in your favor, is helping you and conspiring to align everything in place exactly as it needs to be for you to have what you want? And if the answer to that question is no, then you need to go back to step 2 and do the inner work to discover where in your soul's history that trust was broken. Whoa, is that huge for so many people? The more that you trust the universe, the more that magic can happen. And I also want to introduce you to another concept here that is probably going to blow your mind, that I teach my Akashic Records students. When it comes to trust, there is actually what I like to call a divine trinity of trust, because magical things happen in 3s, so this is a divine trinity. Trust comes in 3s. Trust in yourself, that's level 1. Trust in others is level 2. Trust in the universe is level 3. Or God, what source, whatever word you want to use. So when it comes to that divine trinity, self, others, and the universe, what part of that trinity is the hardest part of trust for you? For, I would say, most of the people that I work with, the biggest piece is trusting in others and trusting in the universe. You've got the self-trust down. Like, you are an independent, self-led person. You take action. You know, you've always been a hard worker. You've been someone who's followed your own path. And sometimes it's hard for you to lean on others. And sometimes it's hard for you to trust that the universe has your back, because there have been things in your life that have happened that have led you to believe otherwise. That's the healing that you need to do. So you may even want to ask yourself a question on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I trust myself? How much do I trust the universe? How much do I trust others? And what part of that divine trinity of trust is really missing for me? That's what you need to work on, if this area of trust is really lighting up for you. So anyway, to really bring things back to a culmination point, to kind of bring things full circle, I'm just going to repeat my 4-part manifestation process. These 4 elements that are really, really important to me and that have been an integral part of anything that I've manifested in life. Number 1 is the desire, your intention, declaring it to the universe. Number 2 is doing the inner work to support that, to get all parts of you on board and to fully believe that it's possible for you to manifest what you want. Number 3 is to do the outer work, the action, to follow your intuition, to do the things that are going to lead you to your manifestation, the thing that you want. And part 4 is to surrender a little bit, to let go of the control over the process, to know that there is a divine intelligence who is working with you to make this happen. Sometimes we just need to let go. We've done all the work, we've taken all the action, we've done a lot of healing, and sometimes we just need to live and let the universe bring things our way and allow ourselves to receive them. That can be the really magical part and point in time when things happen. For example, one thing that's coming to mind for me is that when I was working on manifesting this business, number one, I had declared to the universe that I wanted to be a spiritual business owner. Number two, I was doing the inner work behind the scenes. Number three, I was taking daily action, including following my intuition, which led me to book a call with my boss at my corporate job at the time on a specific date to tell her that I was leaving the job. And I did. And I leapt truly into the unknown. And I had, I knew and believed without a shadow of a doubt that I was meant to be a spiritual business owner. I definitely had some fear. Absolutely. I had all of the human emotions. I had grief around leaving the job. So I'm not saying that there's going to be no emotions that come up around this. There will be emotions. It's part of the experience. And also, I had done the work to know, and I was taking the action to know. I'd gotten all parts of myself on board to believe that I could do it. And what happened? I received a tax refund in the exact amount of money that I needed to pay my bills the month after I quit my job. So I had my income and my expenses paid for, and then I managed to take action, follow my intuition, and do the inner work to get my business set up to a place where I was able to replace my corporate income very fast. And I was also working with the records at the time. So all of this is part of the process. Now, I'm not saying that you can't manifest cool things without the records, but I am saying that the records can help you get there faster. I've known this, I've proven this for myself, and I've helped many of my clients get to a really amazing point in their own life where they are like, yeah, I can do this, I can manifest whatever I want. And so, with that in mind, and if you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need that. I need to follow this manifestation process. I need that tool that Emily uses to pinpoint what's blocking the manifestation from coming in. That's what I teach in my Akashic Records certification. Because I teach from the point of view of you are meant to have the life that you want. You are manifesting at all times. And also you can create whatever you want to create. And therefore, let's figure out what's blocking you and keeping you stuck. And the Akashic Records are the tool for that purpose. So I teach you how to ask the right questions. I teach you all sorts of tools and tips and tricks for getting information. I teach you how to channel your past lives. I teach you how to heal from your childhood, how to work with the inner child. I teach you how to change your beliefs. I teach you how to integrate new subconscious beliefs. So I teach you all of this, which is really amazing. So I call it the Akashic Records certification, but it's really like Manifestation 101 is this whole process. It's my life. It is the life that I live. It's very much an embodied part of me that I want you to live this lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, as I was saying before. And so the more that you can start making this a part of your own life, the more everything else becomes seamless. And you kind of get to a new place in your journey where you almost reach a set point where you never really dip below the set point. You're like, yeah, I know and believe that I'm worthy of the money and the relationships and the opportunities, that they just kind of happen because that's your set point. And yes, life will come your way. There will be hard times and circumstances that are out of your control, absolutely. And also, you know that you will always be okay. You will always be safe. The universe has always got your back. You are always supported. And therefore, the money comes in when you need it. And you always have more than enough. and the relationships always line up exactly as they need to, you get yourself to a place where you're like, yeah, it's obvious. It's so obvious. It just makes sense. And I believe with every part of my being that I can create whatever I want. That's a place I want to help you get to in your life because it's a really cool place to be. And I love teaching it and teaching you from this perspective. So if that sounds good to you, I would love to invite you into the Akashic Records certification. It is a 12-week journey where I teach you how to do this work for yourself. It's a lifelong tool and skill set that you have, and also how to do this for others so that you can guide your own clients on the same journey. I teach you all the tools for self and for others. I teach you all of the energy healing techniques. Everything I've gone into today, I go into in a lot more detail. And the mentorship, it is 12 weeks. It is fully comprehensive. There is so much information that you learn. It's just going to blow your mind. And it's totally going to change your concept of reality in the best way. You're going to quantum leap. And I don't love using that term because it's so cliche at this point, but you leap yourself truly to that next highest set point. And that set point is a place where you stay. You're there forever. You're never going to go back. You're never going to sink backwards. You get to stay there and you get to manifest some really cool things from that place. So if that sounds like you, head to the show notes. I'm going to leave a link for the Manifestation 101 course. No, for the Akashic Records course in the show notes below. So you can check that out. And we are beginning at the end of September. So I can't wait to guide you on the journey. It's the last time I will be teaching before 2025. So if you want to learn with me before the end of the year and get yourself to a really cool place to start 2025, because you'll leave fully certified by the end of the year, then let's do it. Like, come hang out with me and see what you create. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope this has shifted your perspective on things. I hope it's helped you learn to trust more and that a lot of this is divinely guided. So no matter what happens, next on your journey, whether you choose to learn with me or not, things are actively happening right now. By listening to this, you've already sent a signal out into the universe that I want to manifest something. And it's already happening. It's already working. Things are already starting to unfold. So leave this episode, follow your intuition. What is it nudging you to do? And let things take you from. With love, Emily, thanks for listening. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.